derecha es también la que queda al final. Vanessa es la primera que recibe el diploma y ustedes se van rotando hasta que Vanessa vuelva de nuevo otra vez. Van a salir, este es el aisle, ¿verdad? Vanessa está allá en la extrema. Ella va a salir.
Followed by the class of 2018. Please rise.
clase grande.
Buena idea, regidora.
Clase grande.
Qué buena idea. Películas. Wow, qué cantidad de
Wow, esta clase es enorme.
ella que guapa.
Please remain standing for the national anthem. The anthems today will be performed by Mia Stipes and Gabriela Morgan.
La tierra de Borinquen, donde he nacido yo, es un jardín florido del mágico primor, un cielo siempre nítido le sirve de dosel y dan a ruyos plácidos las olas a sus pies cuando a sus playas llegó con un exclamo lleno de admiración. Oh, esta es la linda tierra que busco yo. Es Borinquen la hija del mar y el sol, 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 del mar y el sol. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
morning, everyone. Dear members of the Board of Trustees, fellow administrators, faculty members, parents, relatives who have traveled, some from very far away, and especially the members of the class of 2018. Welcome to the 61st commencement exercises of St. John's School. I would like to make a brief pause. We have some members of our faculty who are leaving, but in particular, I would like to acknowledge several of them who are from our elementary school side, who are retiring after very long, distinguished careers. If you can stand for a moment, please. Those of you who are here, Ms. Fernandez, Ms. Acevedo, Ms. Kirsten, Mr. Alvarez, Ms. Salazar. Wish you the best, and may you enjoy your retirement. Dear class of 2018, there are two main topics that I want to address today as part of my remarks. First, your legacy after SJS, and then the journey that you will go into to find your passion. It is ambitious on my part to try to do this in just a few minutes, but please bear with me. For many, the class of 2018 of St. John's School will be remembered as a class that had to endure the aftermath of the worst natural disaster in our lifetime, an event that dramatically and forever altered the course of our lives. I want you to know that I was in awe of so many of you who are seated here on the stage today, and some parents who are here in the audience and family members, and how quickly everyone sprang into action just hours barely after the winds of Hurricane Maria had ceased to devastate Puerto Rico, and then everyone was trying to tackle the many problems that we were facing. Whether it was picking up debris just to make your way out of your homes, or whether it was picking up the phone from far away to mobilize resources, there were so many of you here today who showed what you're made of when it counted the most. As I first walked around Condado and saw what it felt, and I hope it's the only time I ever have to be in a war zone, I remember running into Pia Contreras and a few other students who had already mobilized to clean up the streets and help move some of the debris. They didn't stop for days, from preparing meals to working with organizations trying to make a difference. I remember the phones were not working, but a day or two after, I managed to find an area where there was cell signal. One of the very first calls I received was from Mr. Max Schuessler, who's here somewhere today. And he called and said, "How can I help?" And telling us how they were mobilizing from the States to help us through this nightmare. I know I will not, but I hope you, the students, do not forget the resiliency and the resolve with which so many of you faced such a frightening test, and how you were able to overcome the adversity to end up having a senior year that was rattled this way at the beginning and has turned out to be fairly normal considering this ordeal. Let this show of fortitude that you have seen from some of the people here today be one of the hallmarks that defines you in the future, regardless of where you go or what you choose to do in life. Let the resolve and this experience, and as we saw our community faced with such an unexpected catastrophe, be a moral compass for you and the next time you're faced with a challenge, so that you know when you set your mind to doing something and work with others, you can overcome any obstacle on your way. Let this be your legacy for the generations that will follow, so they will always know that the class of 2018 bounced back from such adversity and managed to accomplish so much in just 1 year. Then there's that other little topic of what comes next in your life. All of you are headed to great places, and we're very confident that you and each and every one of you will do very well. I assure you, and if you close your eyes and wait 20 years, come back, you'll come back to this moment and you will think, yup, I remember that day, May 31st, 2018, I thought I had it all figured out, but how little did I know. If you do know, there are some people who can figure out what they want to do the rest of their lives, and they figure it out early on. Those are few. If you're one of those people, congratulations. You're lucky to have found your purpose. But the truth is that most of you who are here today will see that there's a lot of road to travel, and there are things coming your way that you don't even know. So as you prepare to set sail in this next stage of your lives, please remember to stay true to the values that we have tried to instill in you, to be caring, compassionate, and always try to make a difference in the life of others. Do not worry so much about sticking to a very definitive, detailed plan so early on in your lives. Open up to new opportunities, continue to take calculated risks, and do not shy away from challenges. If you work hard enough, and you do things with good intentions, and you always conduct yourself with integrity and ethically, everything else will fall in place. Just the other day, at the alumni luncheon, where you were all formally inducted as members of the alumni community of St. John's School, one of our parents and alumni of the school, Ms. Susan Demel, spoke to you about how life doesn't always turn out the way you expected it to work out. She spoke about searching and discovering your passion. And she spoke about staying firm on that quest. For some of you, that may happen soon. But for the majority of you, as Ms. Demel told you happened to her in her own life, this can happen after many different turns and unexpected doors that you go through. And perhaps you will find it much later in life. In fact, many of us have had those unanticipated journeys, and in the end, it is rewarding to find the one thing that makes you happy every day. So go out in the world with good intentions, give it your best, be honest, and good luck to you all. Thank you. Before we continue with the ceremony, I want to say, and I speak on behalf of Mr. Ortiz and Ms. Alfonso and Ms. Lorraine and all your faculty members who are here today, we're going to miss you very much. And we may not miss some of the things that you have done, and I'm going to say some of them. There were a few times when we had to kick out of the fishbowl 4 people who were seated up in the stage and will remain nameless for the occasion today because they were playing video games after the bell rang. I will not miss listening to Erika Fustet's weekly rants. She always had one to give me. I remember Mr. Ortiz, I know he's not going to miss Javi Barcelo's very, very, very creative narratives as to why he was not at school the day before. Or I remember also listening to Leo and Tomas's compelling explanation as to why 45 minutes is not enough time to have lunch. So those are some of the things that were amusing, entertaining at times, but not necessarily that we're going to miss. We will miss you, each and every one of you, because we spent a great deal of time with you together, and we know you're great people, each of you incredibly talented in your very own way. You're caring, genuine, and with so much to give. We wish you all the best. Thank you. Now, I would like to welcome the president of the class of 2018, Ms. Claudia Corral.
Good morning. It all started in 5th grade when we were given those red shirts that said catalysts on them. None of us even knew what a catalyst was. Every time something happened to us, someone always said that it was because we were the catalysts. We were the last class to have a 5th grade graduation. We were the last 6th grade class in middle school. We were the first class to have more than 70 people in it. We were the first class with PBLs. We were the class with all of the changes. We are the senior class with the new lounge and the new hurricane center. We're the class that survived 2 Category 5 hurricanes and applied to college without internet or Wi-Fi. But we're not only the catalysts. We're the MTV class. We're the astronaut guy. We're the ones with the best plans, the best moves, and the best crib. But like every astronaut, and like every catalyst in an experiment, I mean, why do you think they call it an experiment? We found out this year that things never go as planned. Take the first day of school. We actually had 3 of them. The new Hurricane Center wasn't finished yet, so our first day was moved not once, not twice, but 3 times. The batucada and the bus for the entrance said that they would charge us extra if we moved it 1 more time. And each time they would ask, "Are you sure this is the final date?" Then there's the senior lounge. We thought we were getting Eifert's entire classroom, like the lounges on MTV Cribs. But to our surprise, we found out that, well, we were stuck with only half of what we were promised. But we managed to make it work. First, the lounge felt like a fishbowl. All of the elementary kids would tap on the glass, and we kind of felt like fish in an aquarium. But the lounge just kept transforming. It started as a crib, turned into a fishbowl, and ended up being a jail. But I'll get to that later. But hey, by the end of August, we were set. We were the MTV astronauts in orbit, ready to settle in for the month of September and get moving with our ride into the future. Yeah, September 2017. There's a month that didn't go as planned for any of us. In the weeks to come after Hurricane Maria, some of us left our homes in kayaks and others on bikes, and some of us never even showed up because we either didn't have gas or we didn't know we had to go because we had no signal on our phones. The class went from being 74 students to 68. But still, we hold the title of being the largest class ever to graduate from St. John's School and the first school on the island to start classes after Maria. Still, catalysts that we were, by early October we were back in school, ready to adapt to the new normal, ready to inflate ourselves like our MTV astronaut balloon, ready to fill the months of November and December in ways that we never really imagined. Sure, we knew we'd be doing college applications, but we never imagined we'd be doing them without internet or Wi-Fi, making a process that's already hard even harder. Sure, we knew we'd be engaging in senior community service projects, but nothing prepared us for the experience after Maria. I know I speak for most of us here, we did community service, not because we were forced to, or even because we needed the hours. We did it because our neighbors were in desperate need of help, and we were there to lend a helping hand. It was a different type of community service. After doing the work, you felt satisfied with yourself. Most of us didn't even count these hours for community service, not just because we didn't have photographic evidence, but because the community service we were doing was coming from our hearts. And sure, we knew we'd have class bondings, but we didn't think they would be at Sobao, the only working internet spot in Condado, after school every day, and staying there until around 11 p.m. to finish college essays and supplements. We were there so much that we were even given a 10% discount just for being a senior at St. John's. We didn't have Brava, but we had the place every Thursday. Our class bondings even included a little rap battling in our free time, thanks to the English department. From that, we learned not to mess with Diego because he's Membing level 3. After all of that, it was goodbye 2017 and hello second semester senior year. The post-Maria senior class, the biggest SJS senior class ever. The class with the kids actually born at the dawn of with the most kids actually born at the dawn of the millennium. We were ready for 2018. This was going to be our year. What could possibly go wrong? Well, we should start with the widely known fact that there was an outbreak of an infectious, contagious, and deadly virus, causing some students to disappear for days, and some even for weeks. I guess they were really sick with the virus known as senioritis. Seniors get this every year, but this year, every single student was infected with it. Teachers even had to meet on a daily basis to see how they could combat this epidemic. But like everything else this year, their plans didn't go as expected. This was also a semester, a year really, without tournaments. We only had games on the weekends, and this was something never done before. Our MVP of the class, and our hearts, Kyle Tarbox, broke almost every bone in his body playing basketball and soccer, but luckily, he made it to the futsal semifinal game, even though he was still drowsy from the removal of his wisdom teeth. And just when we thought we were making it to the finish line, getting through the most challenging year ever, Marcelo just had to break the TV in the lounge. Apparently, he has really bad aim because Leo was nowhere near the TV. Obviously, Mr. Sanabria and Mr. Ortiz had to close the lounge, but it was closed for a few more days than expected because, as we had always suspected, the lounge was pretty much an afterthought and nobody had spare keys. But just a few hours later, it went from being a normal fishbowl to a jail. A group of us were stuck in there for about 30 minutes until Julius came back and fixed the door while Mr. Ortiz was laughing at us through the glass and taking selfies. Second semester did end with the final decisions on college applications. Again, nothing like we thought it would be. We knew it would be stressful, just not that stressful. We knew we would get accepted, just not those acceptances. And we knew we'd get to make the best choice that was best for each and every one of us. And that's a prediction that really did come true. There have been a lot of changes throughout the years, but some things never changed. We all know CJ's love for cats, Erica's hatred toward tomatoes, to the point that she will cry if you put a tomato even 5 feet away from her, and Eliza's famous and unique facial expressions in response to anyone's comments. Not only that, but we found out what exactly Guillermo has been doing all of these years on his computer. I mean, he even had his computer out in math class, a class where all you need is a notebook and a pencil. This year, we finally figured it out. Guillermo has been trying to conquer the world with Del Toro's Machiavellian strategies just by playing a game on his computer. So, fellow astronauts, and astronaut teachers, and astronaut family members, just like the clock in the lounge that's blinking zeros right now, and just like all of those Apollo and Mercury and shuttle missions, we are set for takeoff. All we need is a good countdown. And I need your help. You say the numbers and I'll fill in the rest. Let's start with 10. I'll point and you say the number. 10. 10 Del Toro pop quizzes in one semester. 9 SAT prep classes on Saturdays. 8 people that can fit in the senior lounge at a time. 7 layers to Miss Alfonso's maps of the entire world. 6 different schedules this year alone. 5 different SSL teachers in the past 2 years. 4 principals since pre-K. 3 heads of school since we got here. 2 Category 5 hurricanes. And 1 day only for graduation and prom. We're the class that defied all of the obstacles and beat all of the odds, because after all, we are the Catalyst class. I want to thank all of you, parents, teachers, and fellow classmates and friends for making this year amazing for everyone. Let's blast off Alumni 2018. Congratulations.
Thank you, Claudia. And by the way, after many years of research, we discovered major medical breakthrough that the leading cause of senioritis is receiving a college acceptance. At this time, I would like to ask Mr. David Henner, Mrs. Gretchen Giuliani, Mr. Gian Toyos, and Ms. Patricia Del Toro to join me on stage at this time. They are the members of the Cum Laude Society in our faculty.
Since 1906, the Cum Laude Society honors the scholastic achievements of seniors in secondary schools. The society is modeled on Phi Beta Kappa. St. John's chapter of the Cum Laude Society was founded in 1969. We are still the only school in Puerto Rico who participates in this elite society. The society's aims are best described by the words arete, excellence, not just in scholarship but in moral sense, dike, justice, as what is suitable and just, time, honor, as dignity and true worth. Membership in society is based strictly on academic, and there has been no deviation from the original objective, namely the recognition of superior scholarship. Today we would like to honor the following members of the graduating class. As I call your name, please come forward and stand at the front. Eliza Helmers, Ana Ruyami Fuxo, Diego González Lizardi, Karen Gao, Jorge Medeiros, Antía Contreras Balbuena. Congratulations. And I present the president of the St. John's School chapter of the Cum Laude Society, Mr. David Henry.
Students, the distinguished record you have made at St. John's School has won for you membership at the Cum Laude Society. This society is a fellowship of scholars whose purpose is to recognize excellence in academic work. As you pursue your education, it is our hope that you will accept the honor of membership in this society as a responsibility to make some contribution to the ongoing search for greater understanding of the world in which we live. In testimony of your admission to the Cum Laude Society, by the authority of the Society duly granted, and on behalf of the members of the St. John's chapter, we now present you with these certificates and congratulations.
Today's special awards to the students will be presented for academic accomplishments and service and other efforts. First, the AP Capstone Program. The class of 2018 includes the first cohort of students who have been part of the AP Capstone Program, a prestigious program that belongs to the College Board that began to be offered 3 years ago. This AP level program includes a 2-course sequence coupled with other courses that students choose to take. Students who are wearing today the teal and white cords have received the AP Capstone Seminar and the AP Capstone Research Certificate. The AP Capstone Certificate is granted to students who complete both the AP Seminar and AP Research courses and have earned a score of at least 3 or higher in both courses. When I call your name, please stand where you are so we can recognize the recipients of the AP Capstone Certificate. Francisco Ablonte. Toby Barrocas. Marco Cabrera. Claudia Corrales. Julia Lado. Samara Clayman. Lucia Matei. Isabela Pedreira. And Emily Schussler. Congratulations, you are the first cohort of St. John students to ever earn an AP Capstone certificate. Thank you. Students who earned the score of 3 or higher in AP Capstone Seminar and AP Research, and on at least 4 additional AP exams of your choosing, receive the prestigious AP Capstone Diploma. This signifies your outstanding academic achievement and attainment of a college-level academic and research skill program. The first student that has earned the AP Capstone Diploma is Marco Cabrera. Congratulations, Marco. Their diplomas will be set in July because they're coming from the College Board. The U.S. Presidential Scholar Program was established in 1964 by executive order of the President of the United States to recognize and honor some of our nation's most distinguished graduating high school seniors. The White House Commission on Presidential Scholars, appointed by the President of the United States, selects honors scholars annually based on their academic success, artistic excellence, essays, school evaluations, and transcripts, as well as strong evidence of community service, leadership, and demonstrated commitment to high ideals. Of the 3 million students expected to graduate from high school this year, only approximately 5,500 candidates qualified for these awards, determined by outstanding performance on the College Board SAT and ACT exam. The candidates for Presidential Scholars constitute the top 1% of the 3 million students in the nation. We have 10 who are among the top 1%. Am I correct? 9? Can you please stand? The candidates for Presidential Scholars. From there were, for Puerto Rico, 6 finalists are selected, and 2 are here. And from those 6, the 2018 Presidential Scholar select a 1 young man and 1 young woman from each state and District of Columbia, Puerto Rico. This year, the 2018 Male Presidential Scholar from Puerto Rico is Diego Gonzalez Lizardo. I don't think anyone's keeping count, but this is the 5th year in a row that St. John's has a Presidential Scholar. And it also positions us as the school with the highest overall number of Presidential Scholars since the beginning of the program in 1964. Next, the Principal's Award is presented to a senior or seniors for exceptional community service and is selected from within the list of seniors who have accrued the highest number of hours of community service while at St. John's. This class was filled with remarkable individuals who exemplified what we wish to see in this rising generation in terms of character, compassion, selflessness, and commitment to helping others. Also, a year such as the one that we're finishing here today, where we were faced with such daunting and unprecedented challenges, it was inescapable to witness how some of these young people rose above the rest to make a difference among so many in need. There are 2 individuals here today who genuinely exemplify the meaning of service, character, and giving, and they're the recipients this year of this award. The Principal's Award goes to Alexa Sharak and Pia Contreras. The St. John Scholar Award is presented to the senior who has attained the third highest grade point average, or who has a grade point average equal to the valedictorian or salutatorian and has been a student at SJS for at least 2 consecutive years. The St. John Scholar Award is presented this year to Diego Gonzalez Gonzalez. The Salutatorian Award is presented to the senior who has been a student at St. John's for at least 3 consecutive years and has attained the second highest grade point average. This year, the Salutatorian Award is presented to Ms. Ana Ruyan Uxo. The Valedictorian Award is presented to the student who has attained the highest grade point average in the class and who has been a student for at least 3 consecutive years in St. John's School. This year, the valedictorian is Eliza Helmers. She will be right back with her speech.
My fellow graduates, dearest teachers, family, and friends, I am honored to be standing here in front of you as the St. John School Class 2018's valedictorian. Like every class before us, we are proud Hurricanes. We also have the distinction of being proud hurricane survivors. Yes, that did make college applications especially challenging, but here we all are, 8 months later, heading off to university at the end of the summer, having learned many things as a result of what was a difficult situation for us and remains a difficult situation for others. We are, in the end, very fortunate. All of the knowledge that we have gathered over many years of high school, be it science, history, or the life skills that come along with only having power a few hours a day for several months, will no doubt be valuable as we go forward in life. But I think that one of the most important lessons that we have learned over the last 4 years is that we should always strive for excellence. Excellence, to me, means simply working your hardest to produce the best results you can, whether you are an athlete, an artist, or a scholar. Excellence, exemplified by the efforts of some of our class's amazing athletes, like Kyle Tarbox and Julia Glaga. Excellence, illustrated by talented performing artists like Mia Stipes, or musicians like Claudia Corral, who each year participate in the school musical and Noche Bohemia. Excellence in the form of innovative, dedicated teachers who are committed to their student success and well-being, like the one and only Ms. Sylvia Rivera. And excellence in academics. Our class is full of AP scholars, Presidential Scholar finalists, and actually, the Presidential Scholar. Congratulations to Diego Gonzalez. Excellence is something that I have tried to take to heart. whether in studying for a grueling test. And yes, somehow we all got through Ms. Del Toro's 10th grade world history class, or crafting a particular poem for Ms. Erickson, or working with members of the National Honor Society and Mr. LaRue to develop the school's new honor code. Like many, I have fallen short of excellence nearly every single day, but I have been fortunate enough to be picked up by various members of the St. John School community. When I wasn't being, chased down by Mr. Ortiz, along with Laurel Coombs and Olivia Solanat, when he was in search of a tall, blonde, unnamed girl. Even still, all of us seniors have our personal heroes, and I'd like to extend a special farewell to Mr. Suarez, who has always kept us safe, and to Mr. Sanabria for, Mr. Sanabria. There are two teachers in particular this year who truly inspired me and made sliding into my desk in their classrooms a thrill. Mr. Valentin, thank you for teaching me computer science and babysitting our class through some truly horrifying computer codes. Ms. Lopez, thank you for challenging me as a student and for serving as a great listener. You are both amazing. I would also like to thank some of my friends who have made high school more than just school. Pia, you are always there for me whenever I need you, and your unique set of talents will take you far, even if you do occasionally make Mr. Hunter cry. Anna, you are someone who makes me a better person and who inspires me to work harder. And Wency, you are a dramatic talent and you always make me laugh. When I first came to St. John's from South Carolina as a new 8th grader, I didn't know what to expect. I experienced a lot of firsts. I remember my first tsunami drill and my first field trip to take place on a catamaran. And of course, my first Puerto Rican greeting, a kiss on the cheek. Moving here was the single most transformative experience in my not-so-long life, and I will be forever thankful to my parents for making it happen, and to this incredible community for opening up its hearts to me and my family. As a final thought going forward, I'd like to leave you with the following words, erroneously attributed to Winston Churchill, but still one of my favorites. Excellence is caring more than others think is wise, risking more than others think is safe, dreaming more than others think is practical, and expecting more than others think is possible. May we all go out into the world as representatives of both St. John's School and Puerto Rico and strive for excellence. Gracias por todo lo que hicieron por mí.
Thank you, Liza. And now, please welcome Ms. Lorraine Lago, Head of School, for the Head of School remarks.
Good morning. I think I'm about to retire from speaking at these graduations because these are really tough acts to follow. And it's all our fault because we make them this way. Before I address the class shortly, there are two very special awards that the head of school has the privilege of handing out at graduation. One is the headmasters. As you see, the name was given to the award a long time ago. Still the Headmaster's Service Award. And this service award is presented to a member of the St. John's School community who has exemplified unwavering commitment to serving our immediate community or the community at large. This year, being a special year, and I promise I won't talk about the hurricane, but we all know it was a special year, 2 members of our family will receive this award. In the aftermath of crisis, people of character emerge as leaders and serve as mentors to our youth. This year, one of our faculty members devoted an immense amount of his free time to community service, accompanying students on missions to the center of the island, leading them as they taught impoverished communities how to build water filters and assure they would have clean water to drink. for being an example of how giving back makes us stronger, and for teaching our students that we can always find the strength to reach out. This first service award goes to Mr. Jan Toyos. The second service award today is no less important. It goes to a member of our community who has shared a kind word and a smile with all of us every day for 25 years. He greeted everyone with a firm handshake and a good wish for the day, always watching for the safety and security of our entire community. He has the ability of looking at you and knowing immediately, without you saying a word, whether you need an invitation to talk or simply a warm hug. Although he says goodbye to his day job at St. John's this year, I know he's not saying goodbye to the St. John's family just yet. With gratitude for his many years of service and dedication, I am honored to present the service award to Mr. Jose Suarez. In the words of Mr. Suarez, bendiciones. This next award is the Headmaster's Spirit Award. The Spirit Award is presented to a member of our community whose passion for St. John's is contagious. This year, the recipient of the award is someone who for years has supported our school in most of our extracurricular endeavors and activities. And for the last 7 years in particular, she has dedicated time and love to our musical production, becoming an integral part of the team that brings it to fruition. And doing it always with a smile, and believe me, that's not easy. Recognizing that she's one of the biggest cheerleaders of our school, I am honored to present the Spirit Award to Miss Mare Valbuena. So, I had planned my speech, and I figured now, after hearing everybody talk, that I don't want to be repetitive. You know, everything I have to say about this class has been said. I do want to take credit for one thing, and that is naming them the Catalyst class. Yes, I was their principal, and yes, was I not the one that named? No, they were so upset that they were not going to middle school in the way they had expected to go to middle school, that we had to give them something important to do. So they were the catalysts. Little did I know that that word would have so much, I'm short, but not that short. Little did I know that that word would actually have so much power and really, truly make them the class that changed everything every year. So, let me just first say good morning to the people that are honoring us here with their presence, people from our administration, Mr. Jorge Fuentes, board chair, esteemed board members, many of them parents in this class, Mr. David Sanabria, Mr. Samuel Ortiz, Ms. Jolie Adames, and Ms. Maika Marchand, also integral parts of your upbringing at St. John's. Ms. Olga Alfonso, distinguished faculty and staff, parents, family, and friends, welcome. Welcome to this celebration. This morning we celebrate the class of 2018. You forgot to mention when you talked about the catalyst, the purple senior shirts. Do you remember those senior shirts? We made them in 5th grade and they said class of 2018 embroidered on the sleeve. We felt that was so far away. I thought, oh my God, so many more meetings with your moms until 2018. And suddenly we're already here. This morning we celebrate this success, your high school graduation. And as we end the ceremony, you'll be looking forward to new successes in the years ahead. If amidst all of the excitement today, you listen to at least a little bit of my speech, I hope it gets you thinking about success. You look in Facebook, everyone posting pictures of graduations, and there's always comments on the bottom, éxito, success. So let's think about it a little bit. Think of success as a definition. In order for you to know whether or not you're successful, you first need to know what success means. And that definition of success is extremely personal. Take this commencement exercise, for instance. Success today, for some of you, may lie in the mere fact that you are graduating. For others, this graduation may be a success because you're graduating with 10 AP courses on your transcript. Or maybe because you survived Mr. Ortiz. For some, being a St. John's School survivor, 12 years here, 13, is your success. Or it may be that the special friendships you made during these high school years are your success. And still for others, it could be a combination of one or two of those or more. So to embark on this new path towards success, you need to know what success means to you. Not to your parents or to your friends, or even to society, but to you. Remember that success is not what you are supposed to be, it is what or who you want to be. So ask yourself these questions frequently in the next 4 years. Who do I want to be? And what does success mean to me? Think of success as a journey. Once you define what success means to you, that definition will probably look a lot like a goal, like a destination. You know, graduating from Carnegie Mellon, or getting a job at NASA, that will be success, or landing a role in Broadway. But remember, you don't graduate from Carnegie Mellon just like that. First, you'll have to live in the Pittsburgh cold, and complete problem sets that will make Mr. Valentin's assignments look silly. You will have to work with new people and go through the getting to know them phase. There will be sacrifices to be made, parties to be missed, failures to be overcome. But if you're working to reach the success that you have defined for yourself, not for anyone or anything else, then every step of the way, of the journey, will be enjoyable and feel like a success. I have a very short anecdote, but I think it'll stick with you. One of my brother's college friends told me this story a few years ago. As a preteen, he wanted to be a rock star. He saw himself on stage at the Gorge Amphitheater, with thousands of fans dancing, screaming, and sweating to his music. He dreamt of throwing his Fender into the crowd and living the VIP lifestyle. To him, that was success. So he learned how to play the guitar, he went to college and majored in music and put together a band. After graduation, he and his bandmates moved to a very small apartment in New York City and began playing gigs in grungy little bars in the village. After a few months, he was miserable. And he realized that the definition of success he had once drafted was not right for him at all. He was not enjoying the journey toward the gorge. He realized that that was as important to him as the end result. And that the end result wasn't as important as what he got to do every single day. So after much introspection, today he is a music teacher. And he has hundreds, not thousands, but hundreds of children dancing, screaming, and sweating to his guitar. Almost every aspect of every one of his days is enjoyable. Want that for yourselves. And finally, think of success as a celebration. There are lots of traditional successes that we like to celebrate, like this graduation, for example, or a promotion at work, or finishing a marathon. But when I say success is a celebration, I'm not talking about the end product of all your hard work. What I mean is that each and every milestone of your journey towards success should be celebrated. Because when you celebrate a milestone in your journey, you recognize what is going well and why. And by recognizing what is going well, you can replicate it as you continue on your journey. By replicating success, you generate more success. Oprah Winfrey said it best: the more you praise and celebrate your life, the more there is in life to celebrate. As you begin this next stage of your individual journeys, begin to define what success means to you. It may take years to define it, but once you do, enjoy the journey to success and celebrate every step of the way. Congratulations.
Now, President Claudia Corral and Isabela, the officers of the class want to present a gift, right?
I'm happy to announce that the class of 2018 will be donating $6,000 to the St. John School Scholarship Fund. We want to take this opportunity to thank all the parents that helped out the class in one way or another, whether it was making senior takeover banners or staying up all night at sleepover, being the official blondie maker, being class photographer, videotaping important events and sharing a beautifully edited video, helping out reading legal documents or answering legal questions for the class, helping with communication through endless emails, donating salmon for various events, being in charge of toiletries and bathroom duty in Mondo Disco, helping out buying Halloween costumes, making a beautiful slideshow for prom, getting wine donations for Mondo Disco, being the cruise director of the Chinchorreo bus, helping out getting endless quotes for prom venues, helping distribute togas and invitations, spending 3 hours buying flip-flops for prom, getting us a great deal on beautiful high-end invitations, acting as a monetary sponsor for the class in one way or another, being the courageous parent to lend their house for endless parties, being the designated after-party house, attending the fuga to support just in case it was needed, helping out buying teacher gifts or flowers, organizing every single detail for all the amazing activities this year, supporting your child during highs and lows of the year, or simply just getting up and taking your child to school after Hurricane Maria. You all deserve this recognition, so this year we decided to do something different. Instead of giving you a $10 coffee mug, we decided to honor all by donating those $10 of each to the St. John's School Scholarship.
Now we move to the most awaited part, the presentation of the diplomas and the individual awards. Yes, yes, yes. I asked Mr. Jorge Fuentes, the President of the Board of Trustees, to join us. The names of the graduates will be read by Ms. Olga Alfonso, the class advisor, and just to give you an overview of some of the awards, students who have been at St. John's for 13 consecutive years will receive the much-deserved Survivor's Medal. Students who have maintained at least an A- average throughout their high school years will receive the President's Award for Outstanding Academic Achievement. Students who have earned an overall GPA of 3.3 to 3.75 in high school will receive the Silver Award, and those who have a GPA of 3.75 or above are presented the Gold Award. And we ready?
Good morning to all. Are you all ready? Are you ready, guys? Okay, the big moment came. I would like to call Ms. David Weissman, past board member, to come up to the stage, please. Marco Luis Cabrera Weissman, class secretary, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence and Survival Medal. I would like to call Mr. Fernando Aravia, past board chair, please. Julia Sofia Lago Fournier, class representative, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence, Survival Medal. Miguel Fernando Lasalle Suau, class representative. Pia Isabel Contreras Balbuena, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence. Isabela M. Pedreira, Class Vice President, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Achievement. Natalia Sofía Santiago Muñiz, Class Secretary, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence, Survivor Medal. Claudia Michelle Corral Kinglund, Class President, President's Awards for Outstanding Academic Excellence and Survival Medal. Raquel María Aguirre Dardet, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Achievement and Survival Medal. Alexa Sophie Charak Lan, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence and Survival Medal. Carlos Juan Ortiz Pérez, well known for CJ, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence and Survival Medal. Vanessa de Los Ángeles Crespo Mulero, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence. Guillermo Enrique Heredia Piñeiro, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence. Paulina Victoria Gómez Donato, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence. Julieta Irene Cuyar Franco, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence. like to call Miss Rachel Brill, past board chair and current board member, please. Erika Fuste Brill, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence and Survival Medal. Elena Spaki Pelayo, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence. Carlos Juan Ortiz Perez, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence and Survival Medal. Twice, Carlos Juan, you can't go wrong. Come up again. I know he already had it, but it was a mixed order. CJ, you're so special. Wendy Elisette Hernández Rubio. Gabriela Andrea Morgan Longo, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence, Thespian Award, International Thespian Society, Troop 4363. Samara Danielle Clayman Demo, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence, Survival Medal, Maria de Lourdes Gandia Award, awarded to the senior who has achieved the highest grade point average in English. I would like to call Mr. Enrique Vasquez, current board member, please. Enrique Gabriel Vasquez Rivera, Survival Medal. Karen Gao, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence and Cum Laude Society. Alejandro Gabriel Cid Delgado, Survival Medal, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence. I would like to call Mr. Jorge Fuentes, Senior, past board chair, please. Adriana Sofía Alonso Fuentes, Survival Medal. Mia Lucia Estay Vega, Survival Medal, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence, Best Thespian Award, International Thespian Society 24363. Emily Schussler, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence. Lucia Matei Soto, Survival Medal, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence. Isabel Cristina Muñoz Ramírez, President Award for Outstanding Academic Achievement. Kyle Alan Tarbox, President Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence, French Department Award, awarded by the Foreign Language Department to the member of the senior class who has maintained an outstanding grade point average in French while taking the most challenging French program for 3 consecutive years at St. John's School. Samuel Jesús Rosero Vargas. Ana Luisa Basari, President Awards for Outstanding Academic Excellence. Jorge Ignacio Mederos Cestero, Survival Medal, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence, Frank Guyan Award, awarded by the Mathematics Department to the member of the senior class who has maintained an outstanding grade point average in mathematics while taking the most challenging mathematics program for 3 consecutive years at St. John's School, Cum Laude Society. Natalia Patricia Guerrero Rivera, Survival Medal. I would like to call James Gonzalez, past board member. Diego Francisco González Lizardi, Presidential Award, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence and Cum Laude Society. I would like to call Mr. Jorge Fuente, Board Chair, and Mr. Jorge Fuente Senior, past Board Chair, please. You're there. Patricia Michelle Fuentes Méndez, Survival Medal, Francisco Javier Aponte Muñoz, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence. Ana Teresa Rodríguez Pérez, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence. Sol Bender Abadi, Survival Medal, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence. Jesús Ignacio Álvarez Alfonso, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Achievement. Marielina Soto Castro, Laura Coombs, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Achievement. Juan Alberto Albors Bobonis, President Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence. Laura Esther Cardosa Ramírez. Glenn Michael Humber Connor, President's Award for Outstanding Academic Excellence.
Administration, parents, members of the Board of Trustees, past chairs of the board, alumni, and friends. My name is Jorge Fuentes, and for me, it is a great honor to be the chairman of the Board of Trustees of this great institution, the institution where I grew up and started my journey to become a professional. What do you want to be when you grow up? Some of you may have heard this question before. I will explain how this simple question motivates me to become a better person. It started a few years ago when I was with my younger daughter, when my younger daughter asked me on the way to school. I did not think much about it. I just assumed that she had been talking about careers in school, and I responded with much joy and happiness. I am what I wanted to be when I grow up. It felt good to know that I had become the engineer I wanted to be, just like my father and my grandfather, that I followed their footsteps in the construction industry, turned our company into a third-generation successful family business. But the question continued to resonate in my head, and I kept thinking of all the dreams that had become a reality for me. For example, when I was elected chairman of the Board of Trustees,
I thought this is also something I wanted to be when I grew up. And I continued to go back to analyze the depth of the question that my daughter innocently asked me, to realize that growing up did not end when I graduated college and started my career or started my first job. We continue to grow every day in many aspects of our life, and we continue to pursue our dreams, goals, and personal challenges. In my professional life, I continue to learn about engineering, construction, management, teamwork, setting business goals, and being a better professional every day. In my family life, I continue to learn about parenting, married life, and being a better father and husband every day. In my personal life, I continue to learn about my personal health, exercise, living a balanced life, a balanced, joyful, and abundant life every day. 26 years ago to the day, I was sitting on this stage in this hotel, on the other side of this ballroom, celebrating with my friends of the class of 1992 our graduation. We're at the peak of our lives, ready to conquer the world, feeling just about how you're feeling today. If I knew then what I know now, I would have done a few things differently. Explore the career you have chosen. Seek advice from professionals in that field. Work as an intern, and make sure you are passionate about the career you choose for the rest of your life. Do not limit the classes and electives you will take in college to the easy ones to raise your GPA. Make sure you are taking advantage of the great opportunity you have at the college or university you very thoughtfully selected to spend the next 4 years of your life to learn as much as you can about everything related to the career you are pursuing. Take advantage of all the resources available at your university. But during the weekends, go explore, go skiing, visit museums, visit the parks, visit the city. Do whatever makes you happy, clears your mind, recharges your soul, and prepares you for another week of studying hard. Look around you. The people that surround you today have been around you for many years. They are your friends forever. Stay in touch with them. When you come back to Puerto Rico, visit your school and your teachers. They appreciate knowing that you appreciate everything they did for you. Work hard and play hard. If 2 Category 5 hurricanes in 1 month could not stop you, nothing will. And thank your parents for being your support group. They carried you around for 18 years, more or less, taking you to classes, taking you to after-school activities, taking you in your Uber or taxi. They've been your biggest support group to bring you to where you are today. And we will continue to be your support group through your career. Enjoy your summer, and I hope that you become everything that you want to be when you grow up. Congratulations, class of 2018.
Thank you, Mr. Fuentes. Before we conclude this morning, I would like to thank Mrs. Iraida Toro, our registrar, and Ms. Nanet Dueñas, who are back here. They did an outstanding job on their first time around in helping us prepare for the ceremony. Thank you very much. It's also very important that once again we thank our faculty, as without them the success of these students would have not been possible. Our teachers spent years with these students shaping their lives, and for many, I include myself in this, we feel like they're part of our family. We're thankful to all of our teachers. I would also like to express profound gratitude to all the parents and families who have supported your sons and daughters throughout all these years during difficult times and making tremendous sacrifices for all of us to be here today. As it happens every year, today, we're not only sending away a whole new class of graduates, but we're also bidding farewell to families who have been with us for many years, and today they close this chapter of their lives. I commend the parents for the wisdom, the commitment, and the unconditional love that you gave these kids, and that has made this morning possible. And if you thought St. John's was going to be expensive, some of you who don't have kids in college, ouch, it's gonna make it a little cheap. Last but not least, I would like to thank your class advisor, Ms. Alfonso. She as someone said the other night, she's like a mother, a psychologist, a lawyer, a mentor, and a whole bunch of other things all into one. To Mr. Samuel Ortiz, who despite the fact that he made fun of you when you guys were locked inside the fishbowl, he has a lot of love and he cares very much for you guys. And I also want to last but not least thank Ms. Lorraine Lago, who has led us to assert the school to become the premier private school in Puerto Rico. Before we go, I've been asked to inform everyone that after we exit and the recessional, that we please move out to the reception area because they will begin right away preparing this space for tonight's celebration. So as soon as we walk out, they ask us to move as quickly as possible to go to the reception area to continue to greet each other. Now graduates, you guys please stand up. Oops. Survival medal didn't make it. All of you here today have successfully completed the course of study prescribed for 12th grade and diplomas have been awarded. By the power invested in me by St. John's School and its Board of Trustees, it is with pride that I announce that you have now graduated from St. John's. You may change your hats.
just video. It's not.
You're blind, you're like...
Do you have the tickets? We need tickets?
Lale, don't give me your back. No, continue talking.
Amazing. I thought they were non-existent in this dress. They left. They disappeared. Is this a video?
Oh, it's a video.